Hi all, welcome back to more Labyrinth, The Awakening, playing the Arab Spring scenario solo. This is part 7. Yeah, I just realised that I've just come back there, as we were taking the dogs out. I was going to pop out that question there regarding can Iran receive, while it's on its special side, special case side, can it receive awakening reaction markers? I just don't see it so clear in the rules, but so I haven't I haven't yet went away and asked a question. If somebody wants to comment on that, feel free. You'll probably see the end of part 5 before, end of part 6 before you see this anyway, whereas I sort of left it there, so somebody might comment on that. I might still go and pop the question out there, I probably should. It might come up again. Fortunately, we went through the priorities and it got knocked out anyway. Yeah. I get the feeling it's no, you can't put them in there, but I don't know. Anyway, so apart from that, yeah, they're starting to pop up with a lot of reaction markers now as well, aren't they? And Pakistan's in trouble. It is fair neutral at the moment, so we can do something about it. But remember, come the end of the tournament, we don't do anything about that. It's going to go like that to adversary. So yeah, we probably want to do something. Remember, it's got 3 WMDs if that was to go Islamist rule. Okay, new turn anyway, and let's just get things started. Not quite sure how much time I've got, so let's get going. Right, oh well, there's Facebook, just looking up there. They played smartphones last turn, which allows the play of Facebook. Let's have a glance at it. I mean, obviously, they've just drawn it, so it's not going to get played. I'm not sure if there's more than one of them or not. It's a 3-ops card. So play of smartphones is in effect. It is place 1 awakening marker in up to 3 countries that already have an awakening marker. That already have an awakening marker in or adjacent to that country. Oh, that is really good, isn't it? Oh well. Well, you're not getting to do anything with that, Grant. So you can forget about it. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I could see myself enjoying playing some of that, but okay. Right, however, it's a jihadist play, so they're not going to play it for event. Go away. Let's see what we're going to do then. I'm not quite sure. Where we got cells? Same place with the cells. It's just there's more, I think. 6, 9. There's 11 in Afghanistan, and which is an Islamic rule, and 1 in poor Iraq. So is it a playable non-use event? No. Is major jihad success at poor possible? No. Is funding tight? No. Selling good or fair? No. Boomers on 1 to 4 more cells? Well, no. There's still, we've got the 2 troops there, so no. Is funding moderate? No. Is a cell available? Yes. Recruit. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about the cadres before, wasn't I? I was wondering if it could get past that box, then no, we do have a good Muslim country now, but it couldn't recruit in there because there's no cadre or cell. However, it could come if it got to fair Muslim. However, it's going to look at this. This is a no because we already answered no to that. If auto recruit with best jihad DRM, well, we've still got the auto recruit Islamist rule Afghanistan, even though that's the last option it would choose. It can still do it in there. So there's 3 cells on the track. It's 3 ops. So here we go. In they go. Well, now they're going to do something different. Next operation anyway, for sure, because they have no cells to recruit. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 cells there, and yeah, there's 1. That's the only other place that's 1. Okay. Yeah, seems fine. It seems odd, but don't think there's anything stopping that from happening. It's just one of these little sort of maybe suboptimal things that the bot will do. I mean, I'm at somebody might tell me that it's not that suboptimal and it might actually be beneficial to them by telling me what that reason is. I can't quite think of it over the top of my head. I mean, now they've got to travel, but you know, I mean, they can now start. I mean, if you think about it, where are they likely to be travelling to? Yeah, and then there's 3 reaction markers in here. It's an automatic travel. So the thing is, if you're playing it as a jihadist player yourself, you probably would have travelled cells into there before recruiting every single last cell off the track. There's nothing to stop them recruiting the last, multiple cells in the last cell off the track. There is a restriction to them travelling the last cell out of a auto recruit country, but that's not likely to happen for a while there. Okay, so Facebook was played for that, and that's our first card play. Nothing else that's going to trigger anything there. No, I don't think so. So second card is Q. Right, it's a jihadist card, so no reserve. They do have 1 reserve, by the way. And yeah, I mean, that was a 3 ops card, so they're not going to use the reserve. They can only use up to 3 ops. They don't get to cheat that much. So Q, 1 ops, jihadist card. Play if a 1 resource value country has 2 or more cells. Okay. Oh my. No, this is going to be unplayable, surely. Because the 1 resource country that has 2 or more cells is Afghanistan, which is Islamist rule. 165. Pretty sure we've came across this before and it stopped it from happening. I may be wrong. 165. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not stopping it from playing it. The bottom line there, Q. Priority to good, then fair, then poor. Select randomly among possibilities. Yeah, I want to say this happened. Did this happen before? And I thought, why would they want to do this? I mean, it is going to do something. This still seems odd, I think. I mean, our 1 resource country, I mean, there's the only place we've got the cells, and there's only 1 in here. This is a 3 resource country anyway. And then we've got Afghanistan. It is a 1 resource country. It has 2 or more cells, which is the condition to allow this to be a playable event. So it's playable. There's nothing. The only instruction in the event instructions table is then if there was more than 1 of these countries available, then it would prioritise good, then fair, then poor. Then it would select randomly among, so I wouldn't start looking through flowcharts or tables for a priority. It would just select randomly between the good, then the fair, then the poor. So that's it. It doesn't sort of say that if it's Islamist rule, don't play it. Because this civil war, if we place this under civil war, it removes it from Islamist rule. This doesn't seem to make sense, I don't think. And a Baziz regime marker there. I mean, all they're going to do is come next operation, they're going to do a major jihad in there again. And they're going to have a Baziz regime. I don't really see the point. When they go in, I mean, when it goes into civil war, right, hang on a sec. So yeah, when the country goes into civil war, I mean, is there any benefits to it being that? I don't think so, because I think we've been here before. When civil wars trigger, perform the following. If good governance, they make fair. If Islamist rule, they make poor. So we turn it from Islamist rule to poor, and they'd lose that resource point. Then it would test if unmarked, well, already marked. Place a Civil War marker there, which gives it auto recruit capability, as we can see here, which is already got from being Islamist rule. Replace all awakening markers, well, there's none there because it's Islamist rule. Replace all reaction markers, again. There's none there. Remove any regime change marker, there's none there. Any pre-existing cells, cadres, troops, militia, Baziz Reign, Caliphate capital, Caliphate country, or 8 markers remain. That's it. That just seems pointless for them to do this. Right, I think I'm off to BGG for a little. I think I'll chuck that Iran question out there. It might be somebody comes back and makes it quite clear that it's a daft question, but yeah, I've asked daft questions before. I did search a lot. I mean, I searched within the Awakening forum. Yeah, because there's no point looking in the base game rules because we're asking the question: can an Awakening or reaction marker be placed in Iran? Well, it's on its special case side. Iran. Right, I'm going to keep that open at that. It's a special case country. Yeah, I'll add that to my question, I think. And maybe, well, have a little search for this. Now, this is obviously going to just be an awakening card. That's not necessarily true, is it? Where's the... Just in case that card is in... Well, mind you, what card numbers are going to be, Grant? Oh, are they not listed in a list as well before it gives you the descriptions? I thought there was a list of them somewhere. Oh, I'm making that up. Was it in the back of the rule book, maybe? I think there's a list of the base game events. I mean, I basically just looked to see if the word Q's there. There's a glossary and index. I'm sure there's a list of them. Right, give me a second. Right, it's right on the back of the playbook, the card list. This I'm just looking for the base game, basically just to see if Q happens to be here, because that way I can look on the base game forum as well for the answer to this question. Don't think I'm seeing it. They're not in any kind of alphabetical order, are they? Well, hang on. Right, I had to go and pause there for a bit. I get the feeling I'm going to get called away again shortly, but we'll see. So I went and popped my question out there about Iran and its special case country state. Does it, can it receive awakening reaction markers? Like I say, I can't see it clear in the rules. However, I was looking for this other situation in the rules and not really finding an answer. And I mean, I think, found the answer in the rules, although I had to go to BGG to find that. So, you know, there could well easily be a simple rule that says that, no, Iran can't take these markers, which I get the feeling might be the case, but who knows. So anyway, regarding the Q card, so the question was posted by Mike here back in 2017. Now, I don't know if I've got a second printing of the Awakening expansion or not. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really seem to stay there. 2016 it's got on the cover. The rules doesn't seem to say it's second edition or not. Well, hang on a second. Right, give me a second. Okay, I've found out why I'm seeing the slight difference here. Now, it's because you've got, in some cases you've got 3 different versions of, because you've got the base game, you've got Awakening, you've got the Forever War. So this, we're talking event instructions here. Now, there's nothing to state on this player aid where it's from, meaning, well, oh no, my bad, it's straight there, Grant. So this is the one that came within the Awakening, right? Now, the one I've been using is the one that came in the Forever War. Now, in the Forever War, it does have instructions for all the Awakening cards. So my guess is there must be another card with the Forever War cards. Ah, there is, okay. So when you move into Forever War, even though these both came with the Forever War, these are for the Awakening cards and for the event instructions for the Awakening cards, and this is for the Forever War cards, and it's got the stuff on the back, which I'm not going to look at this yet. I don't need to look at these yet. But however, this this card that I've been using is a more updated version of the event instructions for not only the this includes the base game as well. So not only the base game event instructions, which now they didn't have this in the original, did they? Was this not just brought in with Awakening Grant? And then you've got the Awakening cards. They start card 120, don't they? 121 then becomes the Awakening cards. And if we look at, it's on that page. If we look at 165Q, so this is a more updated version. It says priority to good, then fair, then poor. Select randomly among possibilities. Well, this question that Mike was asking says, this card states, play if a one resource or country has 2 or more cells. Well, that does say that on the card. But then I was scratching my head because he then says, now the event instructions table for this card states priority to good, then highest resource. But what if highest resource is 2 or 3? That seems to contradict card text. And which table to use if there are more than one, or is it a random choice? I'm like, well, it doesn't say that. But however, when we now look back at the Awakening cards, and we look under the Awakening event instructions table, which is slightly older, so they've updated this. It did say originally, priority to good, then highest resource. If only candidates Islamist rule, treat as unplayable. So that highlights that there, right? And let's come back to what Adam says, who's the bot designer, member of Awakening. Yeah, that's right. So, hi Mike, it seems you've identified another mistake in the event instructions table. The event of Q must have changed to be only playable in a one resource country, and I missed it. So it must have got changed. Originally they must have had it in 2 or 3 resource countries. You also bring up another good point about selecting the country. Normally, if there are no good countries, which is a priority, you would select randomly among candidates. But there is a possible scenario where not all candidates are Islamist rule, therefore you would roll a die, which might result in an Islamist rule country, even though that's not what is intended. Rule 12.37 would then take effect and the event would be unplayable. And this is where I went and looked, and this is where this rule covers what our problem is at the moment. I'll have Trevor add this to the RATA, but in the meantime use the following instruction. So he says, priority to good, then fair, then poor. Never Islamist rule. He's got that in brackets there. Now that wasn't brought through. So what is brought through is priority to good, then fair, then poor, and then select randomly. That bit in brackets, why not just leave that in, and then I wouldn't have had my confusion here. However, 12.37 I think covers it, so thanks Adam. And then Trevor says, thanks Adam, Mike. I've corrected the master copy of the solitaire event instruction table and we'll post this correction during the next update of the Q&A. Like I say, that bit in brackets, why that couldn't have been left in, I'm not sure. But there's an updated version that they put in priority to good, then fair, then poor, select random possibilities. They've not got the bit in brackets about never Islamist rule. Okay, so let me chuck this Awakening, because there's no point in me messing about with this play if this has been updated, you know. Okay, so then when we look at 12.3.7, I had it open here, did I? It must be on another page, Grant. 12.3.7, and we've read through this before. Alignment and governance. Right, when an event instructs to shift alignment or alter governance, JihadistBot selects the target country used in Jihad column of the priorities table. JihadistBot always shifts alignment towards adversary and worsens governance towards Islamist rule. If playing the event would shift alignment towards ally or improve governance, The jihadist bot deems the event unplayable. So what this Q card is doing is improving governance from Islamist rule to poor, because it's creating a civil war. So that deems this card unplayable. So then, okay, some of you would have, maybe most of you would have got that right away and thought, right, it can't be played because it's doing that. But I think if it still had that little bit in brackets, never Islamist rule in brackets, I wouldn't have needed to go looking for this. I wouldn't have needed the rule book. I would have just said, look, it can't happen there. There's nowhere else it can happen because this is 3 resource, so it's unplayable. Anyway, but we got there, I suppose. And we'll see, like I said, the Iran question, don't really need the answer to as of yet, but I'm still quite curious. Somebody pointing me, and it might be a similar thing where it's written in a rule there or somewhere that is quite clear. So it does seem that this card is unplayable. Play for 1 resource value country as 2 or more cells. Yeah. The only 1 resource country we've got is Afghanistan. It's Islamist rule. Oh, the other thing might have been, sorry. I did think about this, and okay, maybe this covers it. I don't know. Just coming back here again, looking at this again. It says priority to good, then fair, then poor. Is that enough to sort of say you're not looking at Islamist rule anyway, because you're looking at good first, then fair, then poor? And I kind of skipped by that whole bit because I knew I didn't have a good, a fair, or a poor country that had 1 resource and 2 cells in it. You know? So, but maybe that's enough there for most people to think, well, hang on, I can't select that because it's not good or fairer than poor. I'm not so sure that makes that comfortable for me. But it's certainly in the rule 12.37, but you've got to read into that rule to decide that this card's unplayable. So, like I say, it is playable for the prerequisite for it is playable, but what it's doing makes it unplayable because it's going to place a civil war and a regime marker in Afghanistan, which is going to improve Afghanistan's governance to poor. It might stay, I think it still stays adversary, but it improves its governance. And that in the rules says it's not playable. What worries me there is I think I might have done that before, but it would have been in the previous playthrough. We've moved on from that anyway. I just get the feeling there was a card that was something similar to that, and I thought it was the bot that played it and turned the country civil war. I know we done it at one point. We played a card that turned the country. Let's see, it was down here somewhere. That created a civil war in an Islamist rule country, but that was us playing it. We were allowed to do that, but you would think that, like I said, it just seems stupid for the bot to do that. It's covered in the rules. Right, okay, so it's got a 1-ops unplayable card. Don't need to read the event. We're not playing it for that. It is jihadist. It's not going to save any reserves. However, it does have 1 reserve. So, let's get a flowchart going. And again, just looking at cells and state of things, 14 cells in Islamist rule Afghanistan, 1 cell in poor Iraq, and 3 cadres out there. So whether they might come into it now, I get the feeling we're still just going to travel. But I did say that I felt that the travel is going to be from Afghanistan into Pakistan. They've got 1-ops card, 1-ops in reserve, 2 cells travelling. I think that's what's going to happen. So playable non-US event, no major jihad success at poor possible, no. Is there cell available? No. Travel. Okay. That's right, isn't it? No cells on the track, no cells available. It's going to do travel. So where is it going to travel to? That's what we decide first. The difference there is when you're radicalising. We've not done any radicalisation yet, have we? No. Anyway. Okay, so It's going to travel to a poor Muslim country with 1 to 4 more cells and troops and militia. Well, there's none of them. Okay. It's going to travel... And no, this box is only relevant if it was going to recruit. So we move on. It's going to travel to a good Muslim country. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I never thought about it panning out. Of course, I think I was forgetting that it goes travel to first. It's just you feel like they might want to automatically travel. Well, we do have a good Muslim country, Morocco. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We're scoring 2 points. We're having that like that. So why shouldn't it start traveling? The problem is it's going to have to roll ones on the dice. So let's just make sure we're getting this right. And let's just double check the travel rules here. Been a little while since I've done this. So purpose is to move cells or set active cells to sleeper, which you can do. It could travel cells. These 6 active cells in Afghanistan could travel within Afghanistan and just become sleeper cells. If it wanted to do that, or if you want to do it as the jihadist player, you could do that. The target is any destination countries, so it can travel anywhere. There's no restriction there. Special, to adjacent or within the same country is automatic, and that's why it wants to. I mean, its first priority in the travel from department is adjacent. That means it doesn't need to roll the dice, right? But as you can see, Morocco has no cells adjacent, so it's not going to be able to do it automatically. It is going to have to roll the dice. So each success, move a cell to the target country and set it to sleeper. Remove each failure removes a cell back to the funded track. Right, so I don't think I need to look more into the jihadist operation travel, but what I might want to just look at is the bullet side of things, just in case. Well, right off where the same pages we're on here, we've got, this is page 8, 12.3.9 travel. When performing a travel operation, jihadist bot first identifies the target country and then determines the country or countries from which cells will travel. And we got that one all ironed out way back, and the fact that, let's just say Morocco is the target country, right? Let's just say the travel from country turns out to be Iraq. Well, they've got potentially 2 ops. I mean, the card's only 1 ops. So that's 1 cell to make an attempt to travel in. However, they still can travel from Afghanistan too. My guess would be they're going to travel from Afghanistan anyway, or attempt. But I think in that case, we would use the resource, we would attempt to travel that cell, and then we would attempt to travel on a cell from Afghanistan. That's why it can travel from multiple different countries. However, it's always going to travel to the one country. That's set in stone. Assuming we've got that right, Morocco, I'm going to double check that Morocco is right. But it can, where are we? And they determine the country or countries from which cells will travel. The jihadist bot will never travel the last cell out of an auto-recruit country unless at least 2 other auto-recruit countries have a cell. So it's not going to travel the last cell out of Afghanistan at the moment. And there it confirms that thus the last cell in an auto-recruit country is not considered movable except when 2 other auto-recruit countries have a cell. So, I don't really think you need to look any further than this, Grant. Just double check that Morocco is your target country. We definitely ended at travel. So we come here, and it does say in the rules that the bot will select the travel to. It first identifies the target country where it's going to travel to. So is there a poor Muslim 1 to 4 more cells and troops in militia where jihad success is possible? No, this is only poor country with a cell. And it's got 1 cell and 2 troops. So no, it's not 1 to 4 more cells and troops. So here, this is only if we're doing a recruit operation, because you can see this flowchart covers recruit and travel too. So this one we skip by because it's not a recruit we're doing. So then, can it travel to any good Muslim countries? And obviously if there was more than 1 here, we would then come down here and go through the table. However, there is only 1 good Muslim country, as Morocco. So that is going to be the target of their travel to operation, or the travel operation. That's the target where they're wanting to go. Okay, so where are they travelling from? So there's just a smaller flowchart here. So travel from adjacent, and like I say, that was the first one. So is there any sales adjacent to Morocco? No, it's adjacent to Schengen countries and adjacent to Algeria, Tunisia. It's also adjacent to Mali. Yeah, just Mali. So one of these ones that could maybe catch you if you had a sale there, but no sales adjacent, right? So no sales adjacent, so we move on. It's going to travel from an auto-recruit country. Well, Afghanistan's the only auto-recruit country, so it's going to attempt to travel and it'll use the active cells before sweepers. That's in the rules as well, but I mean, it's common sense. I thought you didn't do common sense, Grant. Yeah, well, sometimes I do. But I've read it in the rules as well. So, okay, so it's a one resource card. However, we've got multiple cells there that we can travel, so we're going to use the reserves up to a maximum of three ops. We've got one reserve, one op, two ops. So we're going to attempt to travel 2 of these active cells to Morocco. So 2 die rolls, we need a 1. Yeah, okay. So 2 die rolls, only a 1's a success. Any failures go back to the track. There we go. Right, a 5 and a 4, both failures. So we send 2 of these cells back to the track, and they get flipped over as well, back to sweepers, back to the track. Okay, good stuff. Right, that's them back. Right, I'm probably going to take a little break there to make sure things are all good. That was away. Right. I think that was it, wasn't it? That's their 2-card play. Yeah. Hi all, right, back to continue this part 7. I had to just cut. I was on pause there for a good bit. I just couldn't remember where I was at, so I've had to stop the video. I think we're 32 minutes or so I've had to stop and look back on where we are. We just completed the second card play. Yeah, I thought I was just about to get rid of the 2 cards, I think. So the first card play, what did they do? They recruited the last 3 cells in Afghanistan. Second card, we went through this for quite a bit. Eventually realised it was just going to use it for ops. It was unplayable. We used 1 ops. There was 1 ops in reserve. We attempted to travel to Morocco from Afghanistan. We rolled a 4 and a 5. Both failed and went back to the track. Right, these 2 cards are done. Right, I know I'm just repeating what you've all just watched, but it's just to straighten myself out and make sure I'm on track. I got, just over the computer there now, I got 1 comment reply to my question regarding Iran. But unfortunately, he's just quoted this rule to me. Regardless of how a card event is worded, this rule supersedes 6.2.2. See, I'm not sure. I started wondering, is that relevant? 6.2.2. Regardless of how a card event is worded, this rule supersedes 6.2.2. Whenever event text conflicts with game rules, the event governs. So regardless of awaken and reaction markers may not be placed then. So yeah, basically what that's saying is some card event text could just say put a reaction marker in such and such a country, and let's just say it wasn't able to do that for whatever reason, then normally 6.2.2 would overrule the rule because the event text overrules the rules. But basically what that's saying is that overrides that, I think, isn't it? To make it stop you from allowing to place them in. Even though it says it on the event card, these are restrictions that you've got to still abide by. Yeah, okay. And but unfortunately, the guy, Chris, I think his name, just highlighted a non-Muslim country to me. suggesting that Iran's a non-Muslim country, but it's not. I mean, it clearly says it in 4.4, that, which I replied with. Because that doesn't, it's not answering my question, unless I'm being silly, of course. Iran is a special type of country, and then in brackets it's got, in game terms, neither Muslim nor non-Muslim. And I got caught out with this before, because I'm pretty sure I've tried to call it Muslim and then tried to call it non-Muslim and then got corrected both times. And anyway, right, well, I'll reply back with that, so we'll see if we get any further on that. Okay, I've not looked at my cards yet, so let's set the cards out and hope we've got a good hand, because this is worrying. So anything else that's worrying? Well, they didn't really do anything there. But yeah, this is a bit concerning. So let's see if we can do something about Pakistan with some of the cards in our hand. Oh aye, this looks... I mean, I'm only looking at the types of cards and saying this doesn't look good. To be honest, the numbers are pretty good. And I haven't read any text on the cards. So I do probably know what some of them do in the top of my head. So we have 5 jihadist cards. 2 3s and 3 2s. So I'm really hopeful that 4 of the 5 are unplayable. But I mean, good luck with that. Like I say, I've not looked at any. We've got smartphones. Interestingly, censorship's one of them, which is the one that blocks Facebook, isn't it? Yeah, I'll come around to reading them in a sec. Smartphones, which I think we've got smartphones in play which allows Facebook. We've seen the Facebook card go by already, though. The jihadist player played it last. Now, what we do have is Congress Acts. And remember, that's going to give us our 3 troops back, because that was the card, and I don't know what the event does, but I think we have to play it for the event, don't we, to get that. Return them to the track immediately upon play of Congress Acts. Yeah, it says on it, immediately ends sequestration. So I have to play it for the event to be able to do that. So I couldn't use it for the ops and do it. Which is what I thought. And then we've got NATO. We've seen that card before. It gives you 2 troops, doesn't it? Anyway, there's preconditions for that as well. So, yeah, a bit scary though with so many jihadist cards. So let's have a look through them. Let's get the first 2 looked at. See if we can dodge any. Right, we've got Snowden, which doesn't have any precondition or whatever as -2 prestige. Right now our prestige is at 2, so it would only knock it down to 1. Set Russia and Germany to opposite of US posture. So right away we do not want to play that card. Even though I could play it and only knock my prestige down by 1 right now, I don't want to set Germany... Right, Russia and Germany, was it? Yeah. None of them have been tested. So both them would get set to soft. I mean, admittedly, it would keep us in the red, if you like. Or, is that right? In the black? I don't know. It would keep us on the right side by knocking that down to 1. I think, because I think this is exactly at 3, and I know before I got pulled up for creating other numbers up here, but I technically, I mean, I feel like you've got to consider that there's others, but anyway, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 hard to 1 soft. So yeah, it is exactly at 3. So the first one, it goes first. If a new country goes soft that's not been tested, it'll take it down to 2, and then if another one, it'll take it down to 1. And both Russia and Germany would do that. So not too good, but I suppose it does keep us. It keeps us on the right side, but only just. Ideally, we don't really want to play it. There's 3 ops. Right, another 3 ops 1. Remove all troops from a jihadist player designated country with troops. Set alignment to neutral and place an aid marker. Remove any regime change marker. Other markers / PCs remain. Ooh. Let's have a look at the event table for that, just in case. What was it? 185. Sounds like there should be something. Right. There is. I'm not quite sure I've got my head round what it was saying there. Anyway, so Maliki. Select an ally, then a neutral country using the jihad priorities table. Select ally, then neutral. So remove all troops from a jihadist player designated country with troops. So a jihadist player. So this is something that jihadist players choosing. So the bot can't really do that, right? Yeah. So that's why it's got priorities grant. So it's going to check. What did we say? An ally, then a neutral country. So, well, where have we got troops? We've got troops in only 2 countries. Is that right? Yeah. Gulf states and Iraq. So, they're both allied. Select ally and neutral using jihad priorities. Well, rather than go through the priorities, I'm not sure which one I would pick. So whatever one it's picked is bad. Our troops go back to the track. It then says set alignment to neutral. So that would then become fair neutral, or that would become poor neutral. Remove any regime change marker. There's not any of that. So that wouldn't... Alignment to neutral and place an aid marker. So that's a good bit about it. But they're shoving our alignment 1 as well. They're moving 2 troops, shoving our alignment 1 to the bad side. We're getting an aid, that's good. Regime change removed, other markers remain, and PCs remain. That's not good, is it? I don't know which one it would be between the 2. That we'd be able to quickly find that out, probably, but it's not good. So our 2 3-ops cards aren't good. And we've got 3 2-ops ones. Right, censorship. Oh my. This hand's getting worse and worse. Remove up to 2 awakening markers from a single country. Blocks the play of Facebook until the next play of smartphones. We've also got smartphones in our hand, so we could play about that. But unless there's more than 1 Facebook card. It might be that there is. I don't know if there's a way of checking that or not. Anyway, that's not good either. 175, there's no event instruction. But there's, right now, without moving the camera, there's 2 countries that have got more than, that have got 2 awakening markers on them. Gulf states and Algeria, Tunisia. So that's horrible as well. I do not want that to happen. So 3 cards I don't want to work. Right, what about Boston Marathon? Right, again, no precondition for it. Roll US posture. +1 to funding. Roll posture for caucuses. Come on, really? +1 funding. Yeah, that benefits them too. Pirates. Right, a precondition for this one. Play as Somalia or Yemen as poor an adversary or Islamist rule. We might get away with this one. Who is it? Somalia or Yemen? They're not even marked. Hurrah! So I think this is unplayable, isn't it? Play as Somalia or Yemen as poor an adversary. They're not tested. This is our first card play of the turn, I think. Because we need to get rid of one of these 5. It's not pure adversary or Islamist rule. Yeah, and it means that just sits in play until you play this event, and it stops them dropping their funding every turn. Yeah, we want to get rid of this. This needs to be played quickly, just in case Somalia, Yemen get tested. Is our turn, isn't it? Yeah, right. Okay, so we can play that safely. So 1 out of 5 we can play safely. That's not good. It's not good. Smartphones. Play if a country was subject to an event or operation in this last action phase. Place 1 awakening or reaction marker in one of those countries allows play of Facebook. Yeah, well, we've got our smartphones in play, so I mean, there's nothing to stop me from playing this. Whether I might want to consider, I suppose, I don't know. Should I know that there's more than one of a card in the deck? I don't know. Again, maybe this is knowledge that you would get from playing the game more. Or playing right through this deck. I've got the feeling there can only be one Facebook card. It was a 3-ops US card. I suppose what I'm thinking is, should I maybe just bite the bullet and get this? I don't want to play this. I mean, that is horrible. That means it's either going to completely, well, to be honest, I wouldn't completely mess Algeria, Tunisia. We would have 1 against 1. It would spoil where we're going with it. And then if the other country that's got 2 in its Gulf states means that they're then at a 2 difference, which is going to go to 3 next turn and then start messing about. I don't want it coming out of there. I don't want it coming out either. I don't want to play that card. Okay. So I guess I could... But I mean, placing 1 reaction marker... 1 awakening marker. Now... What did they play? Last turn they recruited in Afghanistan. So that could be the target of our smartphones. And then they attempted to travel in Morocco, where I can't put an awakening marker anyway. Don't know if that counts because they failed to travel. Mind you, failed travel would still have tested a country. That one came up previously as well, which I'd forgot about or missed. So, in actual fact, Morocco and Afghanistan are both not illegal targets for an awakening marker at the moment anyway. So, I'd have to, if I was going to play smartphones this turn, I'd have to use my first card play to target a country where I wanted the awakening marker to go. Okay. Right, let's look at the last 2 cards. Congress Acts, let's see this. So this is the one that ends sequestration, so we'd get our 3 troops back immediately. Then play if 6+ troops are on the track. Well, right now we've got 8 troops on the track, and our 3 would go back. So we'd have 11 troops on the track. If event played, US, even if soft, or hard, must perform a regime change operation in any country in civil war. Oh my. Remove civil war marker there. Then immediately end sequestration, then play if 6+ troops on the track. If event played, I'm a little confused about the word in there. If event played. Well, of course, you might not have 6+ troops on the track, Grant. Yeah, I think... Well, hold on here. If I don't... This is confusing a bit. If I can only play this to end the sequestration, then I will have 6+ troops in the track, but there's not any country in civil war. Does that make it unplayable for me? Does that mean I can't end sequestration? I think I'm going to have to look into that one. And then NATO, play if global war or terror penalty is 0. It is. And a country has regime change or civil war. No. Place 1A, then NATO there. NATO is 2 plus troops. If it deploys, remove it. I mean, we could do a regime change in Afghanistan, but... Oh man, this hand's rough, I think. Here's me back up to enjoy a bit of the evening, and I'm not sure what to do with this. I need to know more about this card. Can I stop any of these from happening? No, you can't. There's none of them with preconditions, you know. Well, this one, remove up to 2 awakening markers from a single country. I think I need to look that up. 175. So, if there was, mind you, it says up to 2, Grant. It says up to 2. So yeah, I'm thinking if I don't have exactly 2 in a country, but it says up to 2, so it's still going to remove 1. In fact, would it not? There's no event instruction. So to actually select this country, you might, although there's countries out there with more, there's one country with 3 awakening markers, and there's one with 2, and there's one with 1. Right, that's actually all there is, Grant. So it could prioritise the one with 1, couldn't it? Maybe I should find out what that's going to be. I know that feels, well, I've said it before, it feels a little bit sort of gamey looking into that, but yeah, I mean, I suppose we're looking at the card. No, if you think about it, Grant, if you're playing this as a 2-player game, you wanted to play this for the ops, you know this is going to trigger anyway. But this would then go to the other player to be played, and he would get to choose. But we're playing with a bot, so we get to find out what the bot's going to choose. Yeah, that is a bit of information that you wouldn't have against another player, would you? But it's the same as you could look at a few of these things, couldn't you? I mean, I could look at what's the next thing they're going to do with 3 ops, you know, and you could look through it and work it out. And sometimes they're quite clear, and a lot of you guys will just see a 3 US ops card and just say, right, the bot's going to do this right away without looking at flowcharts or anything. Right, so I had a wee glance at where censorship would go down, and the first priority that comes across is highest resource. You can see we've got Algeria, Tunisia with 2 resources. Countries with awakening markers. Saudi Arabia's got 3, Gulf states has got 3. The next priority is with troops. That would be the Gulf states. So that, they too would come away. I don't want that happening. If it turned out to be Saudi Arabia, I would say let's do that. So I don't know. It's maybe cheeky looking into that. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but it's sort of difficult not to want to look at. I don't think there's anything in the rules that says it, but I suppose because who's to say you're not going to go and look at that? You know, well, you're playing a solo game. You can do what you wanted, really. But the flowchart's there to look at. You know, the table's there to look at. It's difficult. Roll yes posture. Oh, we don't want to do that. +1 to funding. Roll posture of caucuses. Oh my, none of the 4 cards are good. I mean, Pirates, what was Pirates going to do? Stop their funding drop. You know what? I think this is the one card that we can play that's not going to trigger. But I actually think I would have been willing to take that hit. Every one of the four, though, I don't want to take it. It's just horrible. No, I've got to try and look through it and make the best I can out of it. Hold on here. If the troops came out of the Gulf states, because like I say, let me just quickly, cheekily look through this. This is how we would select the censorship removal of 2 awakening markers. It's not a jihad. Pakistan doesn't have it. Remember, we're between Algeria, Tunisia, Gulf states, and Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, that's not one of the three. Baziz regime, there's not a Baziz regime marker. Syria is not one of the three. There's no aid. There's not aid in any of the three. Neither of them are regime change. Highest resource, right, that takes out Algeria, Tunisia, leaves Gulf states and Saudi Arabia. And next one is with troops, and that's when it picks Gulf states. So, now if we skip by that then, what happens, Graham? With troops, Iran is not one of them. Nothing there, and nothing right down there. Most cells, neither of them have cells. Adjacent to Islamist rule, oh, no it's not. Oil exporter, Saudi Arabia. Gulf states is as well. It's just covered up with a cadre marker there. They're both oil exporters. So, if there was no troops in Gulf states, censorship, we would be rolling a die and it would be a 50-50 if we selected Gulf states or Saudi Arabia. We'd need to randomise between the two. I mean, you sort of feel like, I mean, come on, it's going to take the 2 awakening markers out of there rather than the 1 out of theirs or not, but no, the rules say that we would come down to that and it'd be a 50-50 die roll. I'm just also thinking that remove all troops from a jihadist player designated country with troops. We know that that's going to be Gulf states or Iraq. So, I mean, I don't like to play these cards, but I mean, come on, what can I do? So, well, which would it break it down? We've already said the event said ally first, wasn't it? But they're both ally. 185 grand. Little page. I'm struggling here, aren't I? Select an ally, then neutral country using jihad priorities table. So it's the priorities as well. So it'll be between Iraq and Gulf states. Again, coming down the same column. Iraq and Gulf states. No Baziz regime. Syria, no. With aid, neither of them have aid. Regime change, no. So highest resource then with troops. Well, we know they've got troops. Highest resource, Gulf states and Iraq are both 3s. With troops, they have to have that. I know that's part of the event. It's going to be the same, isn't it? Most cells, Iraq. We wanted it to hit the Gulf states. So it's going to hit Iraq there. So al-Maliki would target Iraq and remove the 2 troops. Would move it to poor neutral, place an aid marker. The cell would stay. And then the cell would be 1 to 4 more troops and cells. 1 to 4 more cells and troops. And it would start doing that thing. So that doesn't even work. If I play al-Maliki, it's not going to remove the troops from Gulf states. I mean, you could move the troops yourself. Oh man. I struggle. This is going to be. I don't think I'm going to have a smooth bit of gameplay now. I did think I was going to come and finish this part and then maybe sneak another part in before the end of the night for me, but I'm not so sure that's the case now. I'm going to have to think about this. I actually don't even know what the worst card in the 4 is. You know, we know we can get rid of 1. I sort of feel like I have to play this. We take one hit to our prestige. It sets the two of them. It sets them. It's not even a roll, it sets them. I don't know. I really don't know which is the worst card there between the four. This removes the troops. Well, as we've said, it looks like it would do it from Iraq at the moment, unless we change the game state, which is doable, but it does allow an aid marker in there, but I mean, our prestige is rubbish. We've got no awakening markers in there. Censorship feels horrible right now, because, yeah, well, we've worked it out. Censorship would remove them from the Gulf states. Unless we don't have the troops there, then it's random between the Gulf states and Saudi Arabia. That might be worth a gamble. Could I try and manipulate the Gulf states to be the target of al-Maliki? Don't know how I would do that. What were the priorities again? This sounds like I'm really getting into a gamey situation. Baziz regime or an aid. Can we get an aid marker or a Baziz regime marker into where? We're trying to put that in the Gulf states so that it becomes a higher priority than. Oh, I'm getting myself all muddled up. I don't know now. I probably shouldn't be. I shouldn't be thinking about this, but I'm looking at these cards and they're going to wreck me. I mean, I probably should be playing this. I've got to roll US posture. That's a 50-50 roll. +1 to funding. Yeah, whatever. Roll posture for caucuses. It's not been tested. So, I mean, I don't mind. Well, I don't mind that so much. In fact, we're going to roll for our posture anyway. Starts to make me feel like this is maybe the worst card, but. Well, if you played this first, like I say, it hits our prestige, knocks our prestige from 2 to 1. Sets Russia and Germany to soft. That goes down to 1. We then play Boston Marathon. We roll US posture. If it stays hard, we're on the right side with a 1. If it goes soft, it's easier on manipulated. +1 fund into them. They go up to 8. Roll posture for caucuses. That's hit or miss. If we've went soft, there's a better chance caucuses goes soft, comes down to 0. We're sitting sweet-ish. All that has gave us down to 1 prestige, shifted our posture maybe. That does give us 5 alps worth of card play that we can do something good with. I sort of feel like that might be the way to go, but and then between these two, I mean, I sort of feel like maybe this is the worst card. Unless it was taking the 1 awakening marker out of Saudi Arabia. Could you move your troops from the Gulf states to Saudi Arabia? Maybe. I should really try and remember all this. because if I deployed, I can't. Oh no, I can't deploy in there. That's neutral. Needs to be allied, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Deploy target ally Muslim country or the troops track. I could do it the other way about. Could move troops into the Gulf states. Oh, I'm struggling here, like. Okay. That's 33 minutes. I've managed to stretch this part. So, sorry, on top of the 32, so it's 55 minutes, I think. I'm at the moment, so maybe I'm just as well stopping this part, thinking it through off camera a little bit. I also want to find out about this Congress Acts, because I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. Yeah, looks like a horrible situation we're in. And on top of that, not a great deal we can do in Pakistan. We've got no card at all that suggests to me we can do anything about Pakistan. We've got no way of creating a civil war, which I think that this might well help with, if there was a civil war. Oh my, what a mess. Okay, not quite sure what you would do with all that, guys. Amar, you've been making your suggestions about what to do. I mean, although I don't like delving too much into anybody's else's strategies, because I do want to try and play the game myself. You know, I don't mind if anybody jots things down. I'm probably going to have moved on before I've seen it. That was a rare case where I hadn't done any more recording and seen his comments about what he suggested might be the best play. But it's more than likely that by the time he comments, or anybody else comments on this part, I'll have moved on and done what I decided was the right thing. That's going to be a tough one to go about, I think. Right, I'm going to go away and find out about Congress Acts. Hopefully I can come back and do another bit, because I do have a little bit more time, but well, we shall see. I don't know if I can get my head around what to do first here. Okay, I'll be back when I can. Okay, cheers.